Guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be talking about anxiety, something that majority of people go through on a daily basis. Just a bit of a disclaimer before I start, this is not medical advice, your boy is not a doctor. This is just things that I've been through that I feel like can help those that are going through anxiety on a daily basis. They might not help. What I would advise you to do is, if you are going through serious symptoms of anxiety or anything that is kind of like a threat to your life and those around you, then please seek medical advice. Again, this is just a little bit of advice from, someone that is not educated in the medical field on anxiety and mental health and things like that. These are just things that I've been through that I feel like can bring you a little bit of value. So with anxiety, for me, it used to come and go. When I was younger, I was a very naughty kid. Not very naughty, I was a naughty kid. I was very outgoing. I was never shy when I was a kid. Like, there'd be moments where I was shy, but all in all, man, I just used to do whatever I wanted to do when I was a kid. Of course, I was respectful to the adults. Got to slip that in there real quick. But as a kid, all in all, I was good. And then I think like when I hit secondary school, because it was such a change of environment, you had bigger kids around you, you had like the studying anxiety as well. So like when you come from an Asian background, you have certain standards that you need to uphold. There's certain expectations of you when you're an Asian kid. Like, you're either going to be a doctor or work in IT or be a lawyer and all these other things. So I think going into it, I was a little bit apprehensive because I thought, I'm not smart enough to be a doctor. I don't really want to do all those other things. So I was trying to figure things out, and me trying to figure things out is where the anxiety came from. It was like, because I didn't really know what I was doing, I didn't really know what I wanted to be, and you're taught in school that if you don't figure out what you're going to be a bum, you're going to be doing X, Y, and Z for the rest of your life. You're going to be working at McDonald's. That was the big thing. Shout out to those that work at McDonald's, by the way. That's a hustle right there. I know people that have worked there, so shout outs to you. But it was like constant, you have to do this, you have to do that to succeed and be the person you want to be, when it wasn't accurate. Like when I left school, I was the most anxious. I went to college, and again, man, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I did degrees, I got a master's, but again, it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I did those things to kind of keep myself occupied, keep my mind occupied. And it wasn't until the first year of uni where I decided that I wanted to rap or be in the entertainment industry in some way, shape or form. So in college, I did do performance studies because I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor for a long time. That was one thing I remember being like in year 11, I think. So I'd already done like a year of GCSEs, and I wanted to drop design and technology. I had it in my mind that I wanted to be a flipping civil engineer. So I did graphic design. I didn't go too well. So I was like, you know what, let me drop this and pick up drama. But obviously it's not like college where you can repeat a year. It was literally like I was in year 11 and it was like, it's not going to happen for you. So with that, it's still a goal, still a dream for me to want to do that. But what I was going through at the time, the anxiety, it was suffocating, because it was like, I'm not where I want to be. I don't know what to do. Let this train go by, man. There's loads of trains that go by, so apologies for that. I have to have the window open, man. It's baking in here. So it was like trying to figure out how to get to where I want to be by not doing what I wanted, which is essentially the case. So like I said, when I got to uni, it was different. Like, my time was my own, and that's when I started really channeling, like my true ambition, my hard work, my drive. But again, it was like all those voices from back in the days where it was like, nah, you're not good enough, you're not this, you're not that. And anxiety creeps up on you, man. It's not something that, like gives you a warning. It doesn't knock on your door and be like, yo, you're gonna have a panic attack today, or you're gonna feel this way today. It just comes. And thankfully, thank God, I've never had a panic attack. But I know those that have, and I know that's not a nice feeling. Hopefully I never have one. But I think the way I managed to cope with it, today is like, I just think about, and again, there's not medical advice, there's obviously ways to actually cope with it, but this is what works for me. I just think about all of the energy that's wasted on worrying. and all the energy that's wasted on not doing what I want to do. So like right now I'm taking time out to make this video, but as soon as this video is done, I'm going to be writing. I'm going to be making sure my next track is a sick track, making sure that I put in the work for it, making sure that I've done everything I need to do. But again, the anxiety will then come of, is this track any good? Should I release it? Is anyone going to even like it? So anxiety is a constant battle, and those that have already made it will say that is a constant, or who went through it will say it's a constant battle. And again, the coping mechanism is that all of the energy that you put into being anxious can be put into not being anxious. And I know that sounds really flippant to say, and again, it's not as simple as that for some people, but for me that's how it worked. All of the energy I thought about worrying, like why am I worrying? Like again, when I got to secondary school, I was quiet. I was very reserved, very quiet. So like reading out loud in class was a big thing for me. So like reading a bit of text or anything like that, I used to really worry about, you know, what if I get a word wrong, would the class laugh at me, etc. No, they really didn't. Like obviously I had one or two idiots laughing, but those were the ones that couldn't read anyway. So when those brothers were reading, like, you know, it was a train wreck. But I think all in all, when I was younger, when I had to do things like public speaking and things like that, like when I first left uni, I worked in retail, so I had like a customer facing job. I had to talk to people, that was the thing. I really didn't want to, but that's what upped my skills in people, interpersonal skills and things like that. So when I got to the job at the college where I was talking in front of like 30 students, 25 students, whatever, yeah, they were young people, but like talking out loud and hearing your own voice and all these other things can make you anxious. So trying to figure out how I was gonna do that day in and day out made me anxious. And like trying to figure out, like when the naughty kids are talking over you and are trying to like mug you off and things like that, like nah man, you can never let your weakness show. I'm not a weak person, but I swear man, anxiety, when that little trigger kicks in, man, it can make you feel like the weakest person in the world. But again, the way I dealt with it is just to face it head on. So I was talking in front of classes. I had to talk in front of like staff members as well, and like even now when I'm pitching to like vendors and stuff, like, you know, they'll give you questions and it's like, damn, like, do I really know the answer? And it's that doubt in the back of your mind. So I think like with anxiety, it's about managing it every single day. It's about realizing it's there, it can creep up on you, but not to let it control you. To remind yourself that everyone goes through it one way or another. Like even if you know, the most confident person in the world, you can feel a little bit anxious. Like those that like perform on stage in front of thousands of people, they can come across as the most confident person in the world, but you know, you get a little bit scared going on that stage, or if you have to present in front of people, you can be a little bit anxious. Like I've seen people in my time that are like the most confident people, but if you put them in an environment where they're uncomfortable, the anxiety kicks in. And again, I've never wished anxiety upon anyone, but when those cocky people get their due, like, you know, you know that it's something that affects everyone. It's gonna affect everyone. So again, I'm not really giving a list. I'm literally just like talking about the different experiences and stuff, but hopefully we'll get to like a list at the end about how I dealt with it. But it's just like literally just me talking and me trying to make sense of all my different experiences. Nothing's written down. I've got no like cues or anything. Just me just talking and trying to hopefully make sense of this information at the end for you. But even now, 30 years old, man, blessed to be alive, there's days where I feel a little bit anxious, for no reason, literally for no reason. Like I wake up and I feel a little bit anxious, like what's the day gonna bring? Have I got this meeting today? Have I got this to do today? I haven't written anything today. Like all of these different things pile up, man, but you have to just take it one day at a time, one little mini event at a time, one little anxious thing at a time. Just slow down, think about the pros and the cons of the situation, and 9 times out of 10 there's a lot more pros than there are cons. So like me being able to do something is a blessing. Like you shouldn't think that, you know, I have to do this. You should think that I get to do this. A lot of people, you know, if you're watching this right now, you're in a position where you're probably, I'm not saying you're well off, but you're in a better position than the majority of this world, man. Those that live in poverty have no access to running water, clean water, whatever the case may be. You're watching this video, so 9 times out of 10 you've got the means to watch this video and try and get some advice and gain some knowledge on things that you love doing. So I think with regards to anxiety and how I've dealt with it, I think like the 5 main things for me have been to not let it drag you down. Everybody goes through it. Take it step by step. Think about the important things that are in your life, like your family, your career, your aspirations. And lastly, it would just be, there's an alternative, meaning if you're anxious all the time, that's time you're investing into being anxious. And again, I'm not trying to be flippant about it or blasé about it, but for me, it is that black and white. It's like, if I'm going to be anxious today, it's going to be a crap day for me. So I just need to put that aside and just not be anxious. And again, you know, those that are going through mental health problems and severe anxiety, please seek medical advice. These are just things that have worked for me on a very, very small scale. And hopefully this will help those that have watched this as well. Just a quick video. I'm going to try and keep this series going about different lessons, what people can learn from it. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe and share, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace and love. Take care.